Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 126 of So What's Been Happening on a Tuesday night, the 5th of March, kicking off a little bit late today, a few minutes after 8, after a few of the boys rushing to try and get back to their seat to get things moving along. So we're going to have a couple of special guests join us tonight and talk a little bit of footy and talk a bit about what's going on with them. This is our first official show for 2024, which is crazy because it's already March. But our last show with Al Matcott was an absolute ripper. So there's a few good ones coming up. Stay tuned for next week and then a couple of shows after. So just a couple of events that have been on. It's very much festival time right now. There's been all sorts of gigs. Across the Punt was on the weekend, which was an absolute cracker. Shared between the Luley Tavern and the Gem. About 8 or so bands, probably a touch more. Yeah, probably 8 bands played at both venues, which is a bit of a logistic nightmare, but packed houses for both gigs all day. Started at 2, went all the way through to 9, so it was a fantastic gig. So thanks to Gaz for joining me. But it's, believe it or not, it's what they call National Cheese Doodle Day today. There you go. There's a name for everything. We're officially going to rename Cuz Cheese Doodle, I think, today. There it is. It's actually legit. March 5, the old Cheese Doodle. Who would have thought, eh? Yeah, so good to get back having a chat to everyone again. As I mentioned, festivals, there's very much festival time with a couple of festivals coming up. April 1, Blues Fest, huge lineup, so make sure you go and check out that one. As I mentioned, Across the Punt was just on. And a couple of gigs coming up. Cowboy Dan Brody has got a residency playing Sunday sessions at the Gem with special guests as well, so make sure you go out and check that one out. There it is there, so a few you need to check out with him. And good friend of ours to the show, Katie Bates, has got a gig with Al Matcott Friday night at the Gem. So get along to that one as well. Friday night's a big one. But it all kicks off this week. It's finally become footy time again. Geez, we've waited for this one for a little while. And I've aptly titled this show, Football's Gravitron. What do I mean about the Gravitron? If you're not familiar with the famous Gravitron, here it is back in its heyday at world famous Luna Park. And if you didn't know really how the Gravitron works, as the name suggests, it's all due to gravity. But what happens is it's very much like this. The old merry-go-round style. Inside, climb aboard and hang on is basically how it works. So this is pretty much it. And it very much shows the ups and downs of what happens in football. So I thought there was a really good association there, and I begged people for years to go on the old Gravitron. Look forward to hearing from Cuz shortly if the Gravitron was part of his regime back in the day. I would have thought he was a Luna Park superstar for sure. But Cuz, just before I bring you up, mate, or actually I'll bring you up now and have a quick chat. How are you, Cuz? Welcome back.
Good, mate. How are you? Thank you.
Good. Geez, what's going on with that little red moustache? I have to bring it up. I love it. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, all good.
Okay. You might not have seen the start of the show, mate, but actually March 5, here's a bit of history for you, is actually National Cheese Doodle Day. Now, any idea what the old cheese doodle is? It's a bit of a worrying name, actually, but here it is. This is actually the old cheese doodle. Remember those little dirty, twisty style? I can't even believe there's actually a cheese doodle day, but there you go. What's been happening, mate? What's going on with you?
Not much, mate. Do you want me to bring the great mother on?
Yeah, let's bring her on for a quick hello, for sure.
Someone else podcast.
Here's a special
Go
guest.
the D's. Go the D's.
Go the D's. Well done, Mrs. Cuz. Great to hear you. Great to see you on this beautiful show.
The pundits say that we're going to finish second last this year.
Oh, well, that's terrible to hear. What's your tip there, Lorraine?
I just hope we make the 8. We make the 8.
There you go. Well, there's one for the fans. Make the 8. That'll be a good change and not go out in straight sets in the finals. Thanks to Mrs. Cuz for special guest.
Let's not talk finals, mate. Second side doesn't go too well come finals time.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about how many days. What are we up to now?
It's into the 7,000. Isn't it?
Couldn't be. But one guy I know, we'll bring him up shortly. He'll probably know exactly how many days it's been since Essendon played a final, given one of their, very much their opposition back in their good old heydays. But I just touched on the Gravitron there and absolutely held you against the wall by centrifugal force. There you go. It's a big term. Who'll ever forget the Gravitron? So the football Gravitron we're going to call this season. The ups and downs of how life happens. Who knows, Eddie? There might be a T-shirt in that. The Gravitron. Bring it back. Let's see. The Tigers. I wonder how they're going to go this year, cuz. It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Sure. Look, I think they're in that difficult situation where they have older players hanging on a little bit, and some developing players coming up.
Yep.
And just need to find that middle ground. That's where their depth of talent is probably lacking a little bit.
Righto. Just give me a second there, cuz. I'm going to bring you back in. All right, we're just going to see if we can get a little bit of better audio on cuz. All right, let's see how that goes, cuz.
How's that? A little bit better?
Nothing like a bit of first show. If that's any better. Jace, give me a yell if that's any better at your end, mate. Okay, thanks for coming on, first and foremost. Cuz, there's a bit of noise in the background, no doubt. The TV's on. Lorraine kicking back, watching a bit of Married at First Sight, no doubt.
Clearly.
All right, let's see how we go. Cuz, I'm going to drop you out and just bring you back in. So if you don't mind just jumping back in. All right, nothing like a bit of first, second blues. All right, what we're going to do is look at this interesting pick. We're going to talk about this in a second. Let me bring it up. Wonder what's going on here. How cool is that? That is exciting. Just before we bring it up and have a quick chat about it, we are going to play a little clip. Here's one I prepared earlier. The Benalla Street Art Festival is back with a vengeance. And to have a quick chat about that just before we jump in and talk a little bit of footy is the man behind the scenes curating this magic show for this year, the wonderful, the eclectable Eddie Zammit. Welcome back, mate.
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Good. Tigers are back.
Yeah, I've done my background just for you, just to see if I can match it up, you know.
Before we talk Tigers, mate, let's talk about that great clip, the Benalla Street Art Festival. Give us a little rundown, what's happening there and what can we expect to see?
So the Benalla Street Art Festival starts in a couple of weeks. So it goes from the 21st to the 28th of March. You can find all information on benallastreetartfestival.com.au. There are 16 artists now. We signed on another one today. And it comprises of international, interstate and local Melbourne-based street artists.
Awesome. Awesome. And this isn't the first time the Street Art Festival's been on, but it is definitely back and reloaded with a whole new plan of attack.
Yeah, it's been previously it was called Wall to Wall, and this year it's been renamed. So it hasn't actually been in Benalla since 2019. So it's gone through the COVID dark days when actually, so what's been happening has been risen. So yeah, they basically been working on it for about the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, well, fantastic to see. And is there some live painting action that's going to happen as well, or are they all pre-done murals in the lead up?
No, they're all painted on during that week, so you get to see from the start to the finish. In addition, there'll be workshops, talk panels, exhibitions, a whole combination of different things. We've even got some film screenings. So one of the artists that is involved in the whole project is David Bromley, and David Bromley had a film out this summer, so we thought it was pretty apt to get his film a screening. He's bringing the director, and Yugi, his wife, will be there as well. So there'll be a Q&A afterwards. So some interesting things for Benalla.
Fantastic. And in the garage sale, I believe there's a big T-World Eddie Zammit style 500-piece at least t-shirt auction almost. I hope these 3 t-shirts behind you are part of that.
You know, I can't believe I came across a vintage Demons t-shirt the other day going, that's out. That'll be for sale.
What was it?
No, like I've got, I'm taking up about 500 t-shirts for sale. So that'll be as part of the Bromley & Co. Gallery shop that will be exclusive to Benalla for that 1 week.
Brilliant. Well, make sure, if you don't know about the Benalla Street Art Festival, please jump on the website, benallastreetartfestival.com.au. Put your details down in the newsletter to make sure that Eddie spams your email box in amongst what's happening in the next couple of weeks. But make a trip to Benalla. Fantastic to see it in a rural town. Well done, Eddie.
Yep, right. Thank you.
All right, before we jump on with the rest of the boys and just talk footy, we interviewed a guy from a band called Humble not long ago, and their song called Sports Metal. And it actually captured a little bit of music combined with sports, combined with some of our heroes. So I'll just play a little bit of this in the lead up, and then we'll jump into a bit of footy.
And we knew it to be our own. From the pages of black, from the strands of wild hair to the stickers we rated as currency. Steelwork skyline, David Campese, David Lee Roth. It was the world as we wanted it to be. Objects of cars on Sunset Strip. Objects of girls and women. Objects of jagged edge guitars. Hot metal, sports metal. Cut grass, cold concrete. Hot metal, sports metal. Eddie Van Halen, Eddie would go. It was what taught us to desire and consume. Emblazoned t-shirt tribes boys. Emblazoned raunchy slogans. Emblazoned, we are not you. Hot metal, sports metal. Zipper jacket, ripped jeans. Hot metal, sports metal. Dave Mustaine, Boris Becker.
There we go. Humble, Sports Metal. A couple of heroes in there. David Campese. I think even the Wiz got to see a little bit of that clip. So if it wasn't on there, it was coming up. But Eddie Van Halen as well. There you go. There's the other, almost Eddie Zammit. Let's bring up the boys. All right. Welcome back, Lovey.
Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Great, man. Yeah, I'm very super well, actually. We're just trying to dodge a few audio bullets, as we always do on this show, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully a bit of feedback from people out there, whether they can hear us clear as a bell. But welcome back, mate. The head is sacrosanct. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's bring Eddie back up. Tigers, let's say no more for now. We'll come back to the mighty Tigers in a minute. We'll talk round O, opening round zero, ground zero. What a schmozzle to kick off the year. And who'll ever forget the ginger push himself? Cuz, welcome back.
Hey, g'day Eddie, g'day Lovey, how are you both?
Yeah.
Just quickly, bit of news. I'm gainfully employed.
Right. There you go.
I've got a job at South West Melbourne Water as a meter reader.
Perfect. What happens if you can't read the meter? You just make it up?
Just skip it, move on, mate. If you can't see it, can't find it.
Oh, I'll bury mine and then you can't read mine. Awesome.
By all means, mate, by all means.
Good luck finding Eddie Zammit's meter, let me tell you. But anyway, that's a show for another day. And firstly, boys, welcome back.
Eddie, well hidden.
Pardon?
Well hidden your water meter, mate?
Yeah, it's pretty well hidden, yeah. 20 levels up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys, we kick into round zero. There's been a little bit on, let's face it. There's every artist, well, all the good artists, including Tay-Tay, has been in Melbourne, and Pink, Queen of the Stone Age. So there's been some bands coming to Melbourne. Pearl Jam's announced to sign and come a bit later in November. Crowded House tomorrow night, after so many years of not playing. Crowded House are playing at the Palais. You can't even buy a ticket. The tickets were basically given away. You had to earn a ticket to do, and it was something to do with global citizens. So basically the global, basically anything to do with the environment and helping some form of movement effectively. So you had to kind of prove who you were. But you boys went on the initial, but I have to do this again for Cuz. Lovey's going to love this one. Do you know about this, Lovey? National Cheese Doodle Day. What is that? And given that red goatee that Cuz has got, we're going to officially rename him Cheese Doodle for today. So there you go, Cheesy.
Good stuff. Happy with Cheese Doodle.
Right.
It's good to see you got a new job anyway, Cheese Doodle. Good to see you, mate. Well done.
Thank you, Alan.
Yep. Good luck, Cuz. And boys, if you didn't hear, Benalla Street Art Festival, we're going to give another plug. Mate, Eddie Zammit is absolutely setting the world on fire. 16 artists, almost got a full team. That could play for Richmond. They might be better than the Tigers.
I can see you've chosen the blue and red background for tonight's talk. Like, correct. Thanks for doing all the branding. In red and blue, I might add.
Yeah. So, sorry, can you shut that back up again just for a sec? I just want to get the date on it.
21st to 28th. It's an absolute extravaganza. Jump on Benalla Street Art Festival.com.au. Sign up. Cuz, they're even looking for volunteers and comedians. So there you go. Double banger.
So Mum just chimed in to say that Webster got 7 weeks.
Well, there's a scoop. The head is sacrosanct. We'll talk about that in a second. Lovey's going to no doubt have something to say there for sure. We must also touch on the fact that this great man left us 2 years ago, SK Warren. And if you've got a spare 3.5, that's on eBay at the moment from Juzzy Nunn, Hurricane Nunn. He's got a few pieces of memorabilia up the sleeves, so just a couple of little down payment there, Cuz, off from
yeah, for sure, mate.
All right, here we go. Let's talk round 0, whatever you want to call it. It's a shambles. All right, Sydney versus Melbourne. Melbourne's back, boys. Let's face it. It's all over. Everyone's forgotten about the magic potions, and we're ready to play footy again. Where do we start? Bobby, give me something.
Yeah, I'll this is where people are getting turned off a bit by AFL. You go back to that round O thing. I mean, I'm not quite sure who the marketing gurus are at AFLAS on that, but that's far one for the year. I think they've tried to compete with the NRL going to Las Vegas. They've skipped the jump on that one, so they're trying to make up something on the run, and they've completely screwed it. They should have just left it at round one and be done with it because it's already the best code in Australia. Why cheaping yourself?
They left Australia. Oh, the NRL left Australia. They didn't even turn up.
So
there's nothing to
so they're actually giving us a leg up. They were giving us a leg up, and then we go and root it with this round O or whatever they want to call it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of a bit blasé with AFL House anyway. As for this Melbourne stuff, I mean, I kind of get a bit pissed off with the journos. Like I always have a crack at AFL media, and I think I'm validated every time. And this is another reason. This is none of their business. If this was a separate workplace, if this was another workplace, all it would be would be just they've dealt with it and they move on. And the Joel Smith thing, it was dealt with. So why is there still a hoopla about it? It's because the media got bored shitless across the summer months. And the same thing with the Clayton Oliver stuff. I mean, talk about hypocrites. Some of these journos are the first to bang on about making sure that everyone's got a clear head, mental health a number one priority. And, Caro had the indulgence today to lash Clarko because he made a gay slur. Well, hold on. You're the same people who have been ripping into Clayton Oliver about his summer or whatever it is he's into with his private life. So, for me, I think the way that Melbourne have actually dealt with this has been fantastic. They've kept it in-house. Max Gawn has gone on radio once or twice a week and has said what he thinks is appropriate. And that's all that anyone really else needs to know. Whatever Clayton's going through, leave him be. It's not a football matter; it's a him matter, and it's a club matter if it's a football matter. So just leave it alone. It's not selling. This is the other thing, Aaron. These sort of stories don't sell as well as what the papers believe, and I think that. This is just cheap shit journalism. Every single time they want to mention Clayton, every time they want to mention Joel, they think that there's a really massive culture issue at Melbourne and Goody has to go. None of us and none of them have got the first clue on what's been dealt with and how it's been dealt with. So the fact that I'm even talking about it now is pretty shit. I just think we move on.
Yeah. All I would say is be careful how many things you sling out there because it just might be happening at your club and we just haven't been publicised yet. So we all know a few other teams and a few other players that have always had the all of a sudden out for medical reasons and mental health reasons, and they're back in 2 weeks. Some things are a little bit suspect. So let's just be honest and deal with it as it is.
The other thing that I get concerned about, I mean, where does journalistic privilege start and finish? And if some of these things that have been said turn out to be actually incorrect, then I really hope the players, coaches, whoever's involved, go to town on these media types because it's nothing short of disgraceful the way they report some things now.
I think The Age was once a credible newspaper. I don't know if you can call it credible anymore. Like The Age and like the Herald Scum. Come on, they're not. I 100% agree.
And the apology, if there ever is an apology, it gets hidden in about page 38. No one ever talks about it.
Yeah. I don't know where did the captain go? I don't know where the captain went.
Still here, mate. Just dealing with a couple of little technical glitches. We've got the great Rusty Brown hiding on stage, ready to tee off on how well he thinks these Swannies are going, but he's for some reason not turned his camera on. So we'll try and get you on, Rusty, but you just got to turn your camera on, mate, unless you want us to put a profile pic up for you to talk to. But Eddie, we don't know how long we're going to get to keep you tonight, so I do want to touch on the fact that give us a chance how well these Tigers are going to present to us this year. What's the chances the Tigers are going to give us something this year?
Honestly, it's a mixed bag. Like Shea Bolton has a good year. We're going to have a pretty good year. Like I think Shea Bolton is the key to where we're going, but it's hit or miss at times. I actually am really happy with where Dusty is. Like I think it's really good. I'm glad we've got one captain. That's a good thing. It's hit or miss. Like I can see Richmond finishing just outside of the 8. Like, I don't want to say 9th, but like I can see them finishing just outside 8th. They get in the 8. Like I think there's a few clubs that are unknowns, to be honest. I think Richmond's one of them. I think Hawthorn's another. I do think that St Kilda and Essendon are the other two. Like I don't know. See what happens. Like it's on the day. The best team wins, really. Like like I do think it comes down to how fit they are, but also I do think that in obviously the Richmond years, I feel like it's the mental attitude. So it's who's got the best mental attitude to go into 2024. So look, we might see some of the top teams go down. Like I'm still unknown about North Melbourne. Like they could come. They're not going to get in the 8, but they could go all right. Like you just never know. Like when you think about it, the premiership side last year, how much did they get away with? Like every week by a point, and it's just like, oh my God, they've done it again. And like it's great that they have done that, but how long can they keep it up for? Like I think that it comes down to hunger. I personally think GWS are the team to look at this year. I think they've had some massive downs, like the Richmond Grand Final. I actually think the thing that hurt them more than the Richmond Grand Final is actually that prelim against Collingwood. I really felt like, it was so close. Like I felt really sorry actually for the first time, Toby Green. And whether you hate him and whether you love him doesn't actually matter. The thing I personally love about Toby Green is that his DNA is GWS. If he ever moves, no go. Like I guess that's for me. Like I'm definitely dark as a Richmond supporter on Hardwick. Look, if Richmond have 2 wins this year, let it be against the Suns and let it be against the like honestly, like they're the only 2 wins I care about this year. It doesn't matter. Like we've had a pretty good run, but again, like as I said, those 4 teams, it's unsure of. Like St Kilda's got to perform one of these years. Like, and so do the Bombers. They've got a huge following. I personally think an ideal top 8 is all the old school Victorian teams. Like, get these interstate sides out of here. They're going to be there for a while. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Nothing like hearing from Eddie Vendetta's Zammit. He's got the knives out every 2 games this year. I love it. It's great.
I don't care.
What it's about.
I think that I'm just not a fan of Collingwood. I just don't rate them. I still don't rate them. They got the premiership. It definitely hurts, but like got to move on and see what it is. And look, I hope GWS do come through. Like it would be good for Toby Green. Like I felt like that for Melbourne in '87 with Robbie Flower. Like how he could not get into a grand final, a premiership team is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I'm just going to mute you in between when you're not talking. If you can mute yourself, I'm going to hear everyone but you. All right, here we go. So let's get a couple of tips just while we're doing this. The Hardwick Cup, obviously, Suns versus the Tigers, where it's going to be known as the Hardwick Cup as long as he's coaching the Tigers. Gold Coast.
I actually thought you were going to run with. I thought you might have run with the Marbior Chol Cup, but anyway.
Oh, I'd prefer it to be. There's been enough. Too much. Yeah, exactly. Give us your tip, boys. Who's going to win? Lovey.
I can go first. I'll go first. Richmond by 14 goals.
Oh,
and Damien Hardwick to meet with a moving car at the end of the game with Zamet across the bonnet.
Yeah. 14 goals. Geez, you're going to have to do something special if it's 14 goals. Victory first round.
I think Richmond is driven by heart. I think that they've got to win that.
Yep. Well, let's see. Lovey, what's your tip?
Dusty's doubtful too. Yeah, look, I heard Dusty's doubtful tonight, so that kind of convinces me that the Suns, if they're to be absolutely taking fair income for a change for the first time ever, they have to win these sort of games and well at home. So I think they win by about 28 points. But yeah, Took Miller was on the radio the other day, and he made it very loud and clear. It's finals. There's no more excuses. They're not a young club. They're not going through another rebuild. They deliberately went out to get hard because they're sick and tired of not playing finals. So he said it's finals. So you know what? These are the games they have to win. So for me, 28.
Yeah, and it's round 0. So let's face it, it's just a practice match, really. Doesn't count. Yeah. So anyway, I reckon Gold Coast by a point. There you go. What do you reckon, Cuz?
He's trying to upset Eddie. I think the Gold Coast, as Lovely said, they need to just make a statement this year, make a statement early. New coach, couple of new blokes. I think Gold Coast.
Okay.
Tell you what, Eddie, Aaron can be a real shit mate, can't he?
I think that Shea Bolton will get mark of the year. Come on, 14 goals. We'll see you next week.
In round 1.
Shea Bolton could win 4 cars this year if he wanted to.
Yeah.
If he kicks straight, we're in the 8.
Yeah. Yep. You reckon a car a week, Aaron?
Yeah, I reckon. If the mark's good enough, you should be able to go in. You can go in more than once in the final. How many do they put in? 4, 5?
Hey, cars with your Prius still be available to be put up for a round, mark of the year round?
I'll see what I can do for you, Alan. I'll see if I can get it out.
Yeah.
The old Yaris, maybe.
Right. Flashing back. Did we get a tip on Melbourne and Sydney? We kind of teed off on Melbourne and talked about their little off-field fracas or misdemeanors during the year. But let's touch on Sydney, Cuz. Have they got it?
Yeah, Sydney got a couple of blokes out though.
They have. Yep, absolutely.
Parker's out, I think.
What do they say, Cuz? Once the ball bounces, mate, there's no excuses after that. You got plenty in the list. Yes, you got a few out. It's round 0, Cuz. You got to go. You got to be ready.
Opening rounds, mate. I think the Swannies though will get it done up there.
Okay. By what? Give us a margin.
15 points.
Okay, beautiful. Lovey, what do you got?
Too many outs for me with the Swans. I reckon Melbourne get this done by about 5 goals. I think they're hitting the ground running pretty well. I know it was only a practice match last week against Carlton, but the way they move the ball around, some pretty good footballers to me that I think they're on early. And I think they've got an axe to grind. I think there's a big chip on Melbourne's shoulder. People forget. Everyone thinks it's doom and gloom at Melbourne. If they had actually kicked straight in the last 4 finals they've played, they're probably playing off in another grand final at least. So, for me, there's not actually that much wrong with the D's. They've just got to be more accurate in front of goal. They've got to be more efficient. That's it. And they showed signs of that last week. And on a smaller ground like the SCG, if they get the opportunity to move the ball well enough, often enough, which we know they can, they could tear Sydney up here for me. So it's the D's by 5 goals.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, we gave Sydney 2 players, James Jordan, Brodie Grundy. How many more do you want, boys? They You know, it will be the Grundy. Take it, you pick the Grundy Cup or the Jordan Cup, mate. So let's see how we go. Oh, I'll take Jordan. I'll take him back, to be perfectly honest. But we'll give him to the Swans.
What happened there, mate? What happened?
Oh, look, I just
he was a good footballer.
At the end of the day, he probably got a little bit disheartened the fact he had, I think he started for 7 or 8 times, you know, as the Medi sub, or whatever they termed it, the green jacket. They had all sorts of names for it.
Yep.
I think we should rename it the Eddie Zammit. You bring him on the fourth quarter and let him dominate.
Well, at least let Eddie design the medical sub top.
There's a couple of logos that could do with a bit of help, that's for sure.
I agree.
Eddie, what's your thoughts, mate? Who's going to win this one?
I think Sydney by 10. Home ground advantage. I do think Melbourne's rattled. Like, not from the media. Like, I just think that there's something not right in internally, personally. But like, we'll see what happens. Like, anyone can win that match. Melbourne should win it. Sydney will win by 10.
Yep. Hopefully you mean points, not goals.
10 points. Yeah.
Well, you just threw out the fact that Tigers win by 14, and then we found out they were goals. So I better just clarify that one. What do you think, Cuz? Who's got what for us, Cuz?
Oh, look, I think I've heard that Melbourne have hit as Lovey said, have hit the ground running and are up and about. Be interesting to see what they do. But I think Sydney, look, they need to make a bit of a statement. They promised a bit last year and lost their way a little bit with injuries and whatever. I think they'll be keen to do well as well. So I think first home game, as Eddie just touched on, I think they'll get the job done. Just
Didn't Melbourne not lose to Richmond in a recent match?
Yeah, but I was asked to play, mate. That's how serious it took it.
I think if we just backtrack on how that rolled out, first quarter, I think we're about 8 goals in front. Second quarter, I think we probably kicked another few, and then I think you guys made up the rules and just made it six quarters, just so you could kind of come back.
We had half our team out.
Boys,
and I think you won by 5 points.
The computer. Apologies for that. She said to say thank you for the opportunity to have her on there. You missed her, Lovey and Eddie, but she was on earlier.
You got a scoop.
I'll let you go there.
So we're finishing
sharp for state tonight.
Hopefully in the 8. There we go. Short and sharp for Cuz tonight. He's back on the pay wagon, so he's left us. Rusty, I don't know what's going on here, mate, but I'll bring you up. Can we hear you at least? We can't hear you. We can't see you. That's not a good sign.
God, he's a bloody enigma.
We'll get your tips in. He even restarted. I think he restarted his computer from the old Starbar days. It's just not happening for you, mate.
The Nokia flip phone equivalent.
Yeah, it's not working for you. So we progress through. Well, we've forgotten one here. The Lions Carlton. Who really cares at the end of the day? But let's kick off with round O. Oh my God, they have to play these two clowns first round. Carlton, a lot to prove. They'll be filthy. They didn't go that extra step. There was their real chance, just on emotion, momentum, and just get that. So a couple of injuries. Okay, they've been better now that they've got some finals under their belt. The crowds, they're soaring, mate. They're ready. The Blues, in the stands at least. Let's see. Melbourne knocked them off quite easily in the practice match. But
please,
as you said, no
please let them keep on soaring and soaring and soaring. And then when Brisbane beat them by 91 points on the weekend, it comes crashing down. And you will not find a more happier person. Besides, if Essendon can't win, at least those Muppets lose by a point or 91. I don't care. They can lose every single week, and I'm the happiest man on earth. So there's my tip. Brisbane by 91 points. Little bloody, what's his name? Does the Frog. He'll kick 8. Joe Dano was 6, and that's it.
Yeah, I think Brisbane, a lot to prove. They got close again, and they were coming too. But that was probably their best chance, to be perfectly honest, as well. So It is a battle of the almost.
Is it
this
in
week.
Brisbane? I've got Brisbane winning the flag this year for me, personally.
Yeah, it's in Brisbane.
Is it in Brisbane?
Yep.
Yeah, you have to go Brisbane. Like, I do think Carlton really start well though. Like, they really, the first 5 rounds, that's their key moment every season. So they could get up, but I can't imagine them beating Brisbane in Brisbane.
Let's try them again just in case. Rusty, where are you, Rusty? Tune in.
Rusty. Oh, Rusty. No.
Rusty's gone. Rusty.
He's an astrologist's dream come true, looking for that star we can't
There we
find.
go. I can see a bit of action. It's not on the one he did have, but it's on another one. Always change. What do they say? Change your devices if you're ever in doubt.
Control Alt
here we
Delete.
go. Let's bring him on because he's got plenty to say. The great man, back in the days, was 2120. Now it's Rusty Brown from Electric Mary. Welcome back, mate.
Hey, how are you, boys? That's all I am, Rusty
Finally.
Brown now. I've actually given up music except for Electric Mary. That's the only thing I do musically now. I've decided I'm an influencer. Are you allowed to
influence?
Are you allowed to decide for yourself?
Yeah.
Well, let's
What are you
talk
gonna
about how you
influence?
just started. Let's talk about how you started though as the influencer. So I dial you in. You got no camera and no audio. Probably not a good start.
I'm not influencing any technology people, but I don't know why the camera didn't start. It wouldn't let me start it in Chrome. It said Chrome won't let you use your camera. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm on my phone now.
Well, let's face it. There's no real tech heads on this show.
Can I just say something?
Absolutely.
The four of you have talked that much, Paul. Let me go through one by one.
We were filling until you came.
Where's the one with the television on for a start? Redbeard.
Well, he's gone. We got rid of him.
Oh. Or you
He's
could
too
hear,
busy putting colour in it.
yeah, all you could hear was neighbours.
Correct. I could hear Family Ties in the background, I reckon.
That might be the first thing you can be an influencer on, Rusty, is etiquette on the social media on your calls.
Oh, I've got no etiquette. All right, let me go back a little bit. So I don't know if we've met. Eddie, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Good luck for the Benalla stuff, and
Thank
good
you.
luck to Richmond. Because apart from the 3 years where you won the premiership playing soccer, and no one else was any good, you haven't done a thing for years, and you probably won't do any more either. You're actually rubbish, Richmond. And worse than that, Dimmer, I hope he fails miserably. That big, hey, I've lost footy, it's gone to me. And then he's over in America with a beer at the basketball. Yeah, and then 1 week later, oh, yeah, I've found footy again. I've found it again. I've found my passion for it. I hope you fail, Dimmer. You're probably not watching this, but I hope you fail. Sorry, mate. Who else we got? Listen, don't hang it on the round zero. I'm a South Melbourne thrown out of the league by all you other idiots who have also been failures. Melbourne couldn't win anything for years. You won a premiership that didn't count, when I don't even know where it was, in Brisbane, I think, so it doesn't count. It wasn't at the MCG. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, North Melbourne take theirs. The West Coast Eagles took theirs against the Swans for a point. Footscray took theirs in 2016 when the AFL apologised for the Swans for the 3 umpires, lethargic, I don't know, what was the word they used, umpiring display. 3 of them. So 3 of them got it wrong in the one day. And Footscray hang around with a premiership in 2016. That was ours, 100%. West Coast Eagles in 2006 was ours, 100%. Drug cheating, running around like kangaroos. No good. Anyway, listen.
Did I mention this is Rusty's rant?
Yeah, it's a rant because you threw us out of the league. You threw Fitzroy out of the league, and we're up in the northern states, and there's no rugby on. So let's just have 1 week to ourselves. Yes.
Yeah,
Aaron,
fair
you'll be
enough.
happy because Melbourne are actually playing in front of a crowd. So
I don't think we've ever played on Thursday. Thursday.
Yeah.
What is that about?
yeah, I'm going up actually. I've taken the day off
Oh,
work.
good
Don't tell me, boss. No, it's going to be good. I think it'll be a good night. It's going to be hot. So leave the 0. I think it's a great idea for the northern states, honestly, only because I'm a supporter of a club that's in the northern states. And the Melbourne people always complain. They shouldn't complain. Just let them have their day. It's not going to hurt anybody. Everyone loves the Adelaide thing when they go over there for what's that called? What round's that?
Gather round.
Yeah, the people loved it. Went to all these different games and that. So give us our ground zero day.
It should have been called. It should have been in Brisbane, and it should have been the Gabba round, right? The Save the Gabba round, because the Gabba's back. They were putting a hole in it 6 weeks ago, and now they decided they're not going to gut it after all. What is going on? That'll be an absolute shambles.
I thought they were swapping it for the Olympics.
No.
Well, if
They're
I
not
went to
doing it?
Brisbane,
Cash.
I went to the Gold Coast in Brisbane not long ago, and they reckon they are not a chance to have. They'll have about 2 new venues for the entire Olympics. Like, what a shambles! Talk about on absolute snow.
They've run out of cash for it.
I think
Right,
they sent
so
all the
they're not
blokes
doing
that were
it.
doing all the Victorian roads. They've sent them all up there to do nothing. Anyway, we digress.
My son works on the roads, and the geez, I hope nobody knows who my son is anyway, so it doesn't matter. But he goes, I've been what do they call it when they've been put off work just for a reason? Can't think. My head's gone mad. No, he's still working. They shut down the site. The CFMEU, is that what they're called?
We did that at
You know
Melbourne
what?
as well.
Do you know why they shut it down? Because the water fountain hadn't been tested and tagged. They shut the whole thing down.
No, that's crazy. You're right. That is
The
crazy.
water fountain.
Oh, they've all been put in a cryo chamber till they're ready to work again.
Oh, they've got to be. What's going on with this world? You need to start a new podcast called "What's Going On with This World." How does Taylor Swift get 96,000 people to the MCG 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
Why are 45-year-old mums dressing like their 12-year-old daughters and going, Tay, 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 Tay? I had one say, but she's an icon. Really? She's an icon, is she? Tell us what she's done, and don't bring up all the, she gives money to these people and money to this people. She gave each truck driver $500,000. Bullshit.
Yeah. All she's got is a killer marketing juggernaut at the moment, and you can't complain. You can't knock that. Eddie, probably the worst T-shirt designs I've ever seen. Sold a shitload, mate. Could not buy. Whoever did the merch for Taylor Swift, right? My little niece went. You could not. There wasn't even on sale ever a kid's T-shirt. How does that work? They started with size small, and I shit you not, the size small would have fitted me. So, guys,
seen photos
got that
of,
horribly wrong.
I've seen photos of all the necklines being ripped. Like, apparently it wasn't that good, like the quality of it. So $65
I think it was, yeah, they didn't miss you. And the hoodies, the hoodies were about 1.5 meters long, the arms. So I don't know who they were supposed to fit. But,
they were a big price, weren't they? Were they $200 hoodies?
120.
Yeah.
120 to start. But
I
reckon they sold more merch than the whole Grand Prix.
I went to the Gunners 15 months ago at the MCG, and they're far bigger and far better than fucking Taylor. And the most expensive thing you could think of, that was only $90. That was a hoodie.
Yeah.
Everything else was like $40, $50 or something like that, because they actually get it. That's the thing. Like proper bands, guys like Guns N' Roses, those that have done the hard yards and have gone about things properly in that industry. They get what the fans want. They get the fans. We're not going to rip them off. I mean, if you've got T-shirts ripping after one or two wears, that's an absolute disgrace.
I agree.
And why would you fucking go back to it? Yeah. Why would you go back?
I don't think some of them even made the second night, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, that's another story. Rusty, talk about icons.
Just because the dads ripped them off.
Slash snuck into town the other day, played a gig, and no one even knew he was here. That's the difference between
marketing.
A true icon that can just play to a sold-out crowd, mind you. No Tay size, obviously. But I take my hat off. You talk about someone that's, I would say, a better, put it this way, one flew in a private jet, one flew economy with Virgin Airlines with their family. That's Pink. I take my hat off to her and get down to the real people. I think she holds the record still at the Tennis Centre for the most consecutive gigs. So I think that's a much better effort than Tay selling out the MCG anyway, because they all say Tay-Tay's not coming back after this. Well, let's see. I reckon she's coming back. She's smelt cash, mate. She's coming back.
I hope not.
Why is it news on Channel 9? Why are they all calling her Tay-Tay? I don't get it. It was even on SEN News. It's a sports station. Why are they talking about? Like, actually enlighten me if you can, because I find it disgraceful. I'm an older man. I'm 63. I've grown up in a really good musical era. But what people call music now and how it's, I looked at I think it was before, it was before we got into lockdown, whatever year that was. Was that 2020?
Yeah.
Yep.
I did a social media course because I realized, with the band, this is the way it's going. And the lady said to me, "Oh, you should start a TikTok." I said, "A TikTok?" I said, "That's a kid's thing."
Does she know who she's talking to?
No. They do dances, right? Because that's what they're doing. I remember Nathan Buckley did one. Dimmer did one with his kids. They all did them. And I said, "Oh,
you thought they were talking about the biscuit."
No. Well, if it was called Tim Tam, I'd definitely know what the biscuit was. So I said, "No, I can't do that. That's embarrassing." I couldn't do that. But I did go home and I said to my daughter, "Can you do a dance but use Electric Mary music?" She flatly refused because it was embarrassing for her. But now, no, it doesn't matter. I'm left behind because I didn't do it. And the other day I saw Keith Richards in the back of a car going, "Yeah, Stones were on tour in 2024 and I'm starting driving now." And everyone probably laughed at it. But I looked at it, this is just me, and went, "No, mate, you're Keith Richards. You don't do a TikTok." I saw the Teskey brothers talking about a gig coming up. "Hey, I just want you to know we're in Melbourne." They were embarrassed. They are serious musicians that were embarrassed, but they're made. That's how it looked to me. They were made to do it, so they did it. One of them had sunnies on because that's some kind of way to hide, but it's not really because everyone can see her. They're a serious band. That singer in the Teskey brothers, like, he's as good as anybody going around. He is that good. And he's doing a TikTok telling people, "Hey, come down to whatever thing it was. We're playing here," It's embarrassing. And I reckon they were embarrassed. It really gets under my skin. Really TikTok shit. But I'm going to have to do one because we're going to be doing stuff. And if I don't do it,
you're not.
Nobody will come to the shows because they won't know we're playing. And it's the only way to do it. You don't lick envelopes anymore and put a sting in and write addresses out anymore. That's not how you do it. So
I know,
I'm gonna
Rusty,
get
but
in-
at the end of the day, mate, let's put this on the table. I've been an Electric Mary fan for a few years now. I'm speaking on behalf of Electric Mary fans here.
Yep.
If your band puts out a TikTok, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done from the
Well,
old fans. I know you want new fans, but
No,
what
I
happened
don't
to
want
the
new
good
fans.
What happened
I
to the
want-
good old
No,
street
sorry.
posters,
That's
mate?
a
Street
stupid-
magazine
That's a
and the
stupid
way it
thing.
used to work.
That's yep.
You do want
The way it
new
used to,
fans.
the way it used to taste. I'd love to have street posters, but do I have $1,200 to do it, or do I
No,
just get
true.
on my phone and go, "Hey, it's Rusty here from Electric Mary. We're playing at the corner on April the whatever. Come and see us," and hope that
Yeah.
someone sees us and be embarrassed while I do it. I am.
Well,
I'm actually embarrassed. It's embarrassing.
I can tell you,
man.
Eddie Zammit will have a few ideas. That's for sure.
Go on, Eddie.
The world of marketing, mate, it's changed a lot. And please tell me there's no TikTok for the Benalla Street Festival.
There's no TikTok.
Yet.
No TikTok.
Yet.
Like, be happy about that.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. I'm all about print. So we've actually advertised in print magazines.
Grouse. That's like we gotta have that stuff. The way it worked before was real when bands were real, and they didn't just get bigger because they had a great TikTok or a stupid thing on Facebook or whatever. It was actually about the songs. And when I was younger, there was a mystery about bands. You didn't know things. You know, but you knew the people in the band. You knew every one of their names. Who played bass, who played drums, I wouldn't know anybody in Queens of the Stone Age.
Yep.
I wouldn't know them. I don't
Yep.
know the names of the people in the Foo Fighters. I knew Taylor Hawkins and I know Dave Grohl. I don't know the other one. But in saying that, our old bass player, Nilo, who was before Alex, plays with the guitarist. His name is like a shh name. Shh. Shh. If you're looking at stage, he plays on the left. He plays in his band. Yeah, so I've got two connections to the Foo Fighters because our old roadie ended up being their production manager as well. From 2120, actually. He went from 2120 to the Foo Fighters. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Fair.
I should get it.
Fair step.
Should get a TikTok.
Fair step down. So
Anyway, we'll
fair to say-
beat you by 23 points on Thursday.
Anyway, back to the real topic.
Yeah, God.
Go for it. Yeah, mate. Thanks for your 25-minute rant about everything that's happening in your world. It's been good to have you back, Rusty. Influencer.
Yeah, I'm going to influence
someone.
people not to like things they think they like. That's what I'm going to be an influencer of. You do
just
not
stick to-
like Tay-Tay.
So just hate. Just go out and hate stuff.
No, I don't want to hate people. She's probably a really nice person, and she probably cooks. She probably knows how to cook scrambled eggs, but she doesn't write amazing songs, and she doesn't write them all by herself. And she's not even a great singer. She's an okay singer. If you ever watched Australian Idol or The Voice, you'll see plenty of people that can sing all days of the week, but they won't get that break. You know, have you ever go home when you? Here's a task for you, anyone who's watching, and the people on the board here. There's a song by Tom Petty called "Joe, the CEO." Listen to it. It's all about the music industry. It's from a 2010 album called The Last DJ. I think it was 2010. It's called Joe, the CEO. And one of the lines is, "Bring me a girl. They're always the best. You put them on stage and you have them undress. Some angel whore who can learn a guitar lick. Hey, that's what I call music." And he's right. He was right 14 or 15 years ago.
Good old-fashioned rock and roll, Rusty?
Tommy Petty.
Yes.
I really am ranting, aren't I? I might go from an influencer to a dickhead and get off.
I can tell one thing,
Who's
mate.
that guy you had on?
Who? Old
No, I'm saying that's what your fans.
Influencer.
That's what your fans will be saying.
Speaking of blokes with rants,
Yep.
I must just touch on this guy before we finish. We're going to finish in a second, but there's a great guy that hangs around Kramer Street Oval in Preston.
Yep.
He is probably one of the most passionate fans you'll possibly come across for the
Of
mighty Blues, the Blues.
Carlton.
He still plays cricket and bowls absolute thunderbolts, and does a lot for the community. But he's a hilarious guy, and if ever you come across this guy, Dino, you'll never forget
What's
him.
his name?
But I saw a little interview, and funnily enough, he was interviewed on TikTok. So I've got to play this little clip just before we finish. But they're interviewing him with questions like, who's the greatest? Who's the best? Have a listen to this for a little rant.
Craig Bradley, Wayne Johnson, Patrick Cripps, Anthony Koutafidis. Oh, yeah, he's the best centre forward of all time.
Okay, all right.
He's the greatest centre forward.
And one more.
He's better than Royce Hart, better than Brereton. He's better than all of them. Him and Dermy or Jonathan Brown, Rewald. I'll have sticks, mate. Wayne Harms, Jeff Southby.
I love it.
Good old Dino. He's an absolute legend. Legend of Kramer Street. If ever the Bundoora Bulls are playing, Rusty, he's your man, mate. You won't get any more passionate. I know there's a few passionate blokes down at North Heidelberg. Give them a rap this year, Rusty. How are they going to go?
Well, look, usually I don't say anything. I stay very humble because we've always been a pretty strong club, except we're in second division. I think it's going to be 2005 all over again. I think the Swans are going to win the premiership, and North Heidelberg is going to win the premiership. That's what happened in 2005, a week apart from each other.
Wow.
I honestly do think that the Swans, I don't know why, but I think we're going to win the premiership. I've never been as confident until today, and 3 injured players. What's Taylor Adams doing? He's having 4-week rest already. He hasn't even started.
You got him.
Yeah, I know. I was wrapped too. I never heard of him. He's 31 years old. He's 31 years old.
Did you go home in that week between the 2 premierships in 2005, Rusty, or not?
Yeah, I did. I was very happy with the Swannies. I actually barrack for North Heidelberg more than I do the Swannies, to be honest with you, because, you know the people, the players running out on the ground, and you can say hello. You don't really know Swans players. But I did get to know a few Swans players back when Craig O'Brien used to play, because I used to go and I was a mate of his. I used to watch him get rubbed down. I used to listen to him talk and that. And then one day I just decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. I didn't like what they were saying.
Didn't agree with it.
Yeah, I said to Craig one day, you're actually just a local club with better players.
There you go. All right, so here's a little bit of hope for all our supporters out there that are they really going to do something this year? Here we go.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Who knows? Let's leave that on this show to finish off, and we'll come back in a week's time and see how we went for O round, and we'll talk about the official round 1 next week. So, boys, thanks for joining. We could talk for
proper
another hour.
round. That's not a bad name for it, actually.
Beautifully.
Proper round.
What's that?
Yeah.
Proper round. Yeah.
Proper round.
We're going to give you proper next week. So wear your best. All right, boys. Thanks for joining me tonight on episode 126. Time's ticking by. We're going to finish off with the Benalla Street Art Festival for everyone that's jumped on late. Check it out. It's coming up in a couple of weeks in March. Eddie, thanks for joining us and having a chat about it. We're going to talk about it in the next couple of weeks as well, and just keep giving it a pump. Rusty, let's find out what's going on with Electric Mary in the next couple of weeks and what you're up to.
No worries.
And Lovey, let's talk wrap of cricket and local footy. It's all back.
Well,
all right, guys.
Lovey, who's your local side, Lovey?
So cricket, I'm out at Warrenwood.
Yeah.
Yep. And footy, actually not really affiliated that much now with any particular local club. So I'll go and watch my boy play for Box Hill North in the Emmos.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Eddie?
No one. I'm working all the time.
He's just a Richmond. He's now officially Richmond Nuffy. Just always has been.
Vanilla Saints, Frankston Dolphins.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron doesn't know what side he barracks for because he's always hanging out at other clubs. He reckons he's Montmorency, but I see him everywhere.
He's just one of those little floaty phantom type supporters, is he?
That's right.
No,
when you've been a Melbourne supporter your whole life, you have to have another option. That's all I can say. All right, boys. Have a good week. Over to you.
See ya.
See you, lads. Good to see you.